And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Blake Lively is losing it after Chelsea Handler roasted her mercilessly on live TV. Handler mocked her entire legal drama, calling it nothing more than a distraction, and sarcastically thanked her for the entertainment.
So it is important in times like these to have a distraction.
The entire Hollywood crowd laughed in agreement, proving Lively's victim act has completely backfired.
But there's probably not going to be a sequel. It ends with us, guys.
Blake Lively probably thought she was the queen of Hollywood. She probably thought everyone was on her side, playing along with her little sob story, nodding sympathetically while she cried about being a victim. Well, that illusion shattered into a million pieces the second Chelsea Handler took the stage at the 2025 Critics' Choice Awards. This was a public execution.
Chelsea Handler just roasted Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni in front of a lot of major celebrities at an award show, and I don't think Blake Lively is going to like it.
The Critics' Choice Awards are usually all about self-congratulatory speeches and forced humility. But this year,
I want to acknowledge that we've been through a lot lately, not just here in Los Angeles, but our entire country. Waking up every day, not knowing what news we're going to hear.
Chelsea Handler hijacked the night and turned it into a full-blown takedown of Blake Lively's pathetic PR circus. Handler didn't hold back. She walked onto that stage with a flamethrower and aimed it directly at Lively. And the best part? Hollywood didn't flinch. They laughed.
So it is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Let's talk about the moment that set the internet on fire. Handler, with her signature deadpan delivery, looked straight into the crowd and said, "I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively for the distraction." The audience erupted. Not gasps, not awkward silence, but pure, uncontrollable laughter. This was Hollywood collectively telling Lively that they are done with her sob story. The most savage part? Handler followed up with,
I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful. And I think we're good.
And let's not ignore who was laughing. Orlando Bloom, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, huge A-listers doubled over, clapping, wiping tears from their eyes. This was a message, loud and clear. Hollywood has officially stopped pretending to care about Blake Lively's lawsuit. The industry is over it, the media is over it, and after Chelsea's roast, even her own peers are laughing at her.
I think everybody in this room, no matter whose side you're on, we can all agree to accept that there's probably not going to be a sequel. It ends with us, guys.
Blake Lively might have walked into December 2024 thinking she was about to pull off the performance of her life. She probably envisioned herself as the next strong female icon, bravely standing up against injustice, taking down the big bad man in a dramatic Hollywood courtroom. But here's what actually happened.
Look, she does make fun of Justin and Blake, but the fact that she's making fun of it at all shows she doesn't believe Blake.
Lively sued Baldoni, claiming he sexually harassed her and orchestrated a smear campaign against her. She must have thought she was about to take him down and come out looking like a fearless survivor. Too bad she didn't anticipate one small problem. Baldoni wasn't about to roll over and take the fall for her fairy tale victim story.
And she decided to file a complaint with the California Human Rights Division. But that was really, I believe, and it is alleged by Justin's lawyers now, just a setup so that she could give the New York Times cover to do a huge hit piece on him and attempted rehab of her.
January 2025 rolls around, and Baldoni fires back with a lawsuit so big it could bankrupt a small country. $400 million in defamation and civil extortion against Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. And guess what? Baldoni brought receipts.
And there are a lot of bodies for Blake Lively. So he's first filed a defamation lawsuit against the New York Times for their totally irresponsible report about this matter, in which they made a mistake, so egregious mistakes, I mean, intentional errors, you could argue.
Lively's entire lawsuit started falling apart faster than her reputation. Leaked texts, behind-the-scenes footage, and emails exposed her inconsistencies, contradictions, and straight-up fabrications. She twisted the narrative to make herself look like a victim, but Baldoni had the proof to shut her down.
These HR complaints saying these were real and these were ignored, all painting Justin Baldoni to be a monster, okay?
Chelsea Handler knew exactly what she was doing when she roasted Lively in front of the entire industry. This wasn't just a joke. It was a Hollywood-wide statement that nobody is buying Blake's little victim routine anymore. Handler didn't have to say Blake Lively is a liar out loud. The room full of celebrities laughing at her did that for her.
Why are we here, Blake? Because again, you gotta remember, Blake filed this suit, not Justin. Blake filed this suit. And if all of Hollywood is really believing her and Ryan, well, then why are they laughing? It's because this shouldn't be funny. This shouldn't be funny if we are seriously taking Blake's case so serious, which we're not.
And let's talk about how Lively tried and failed to control the media. She must have thought she had it all planned out. She probably sat down with her PR team thinking, all right, we'll feed the tabloids our version of events, make Baldoni look like a monster, and instant public sympathy. Too bad Chelsea Handler saw right through the fakery and called her out in front of the world.
I would challenge back. This is absolutely not good for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. To see the Critics' Choice Award, which is a lot of critics and people coming in, it's press and people who review the films or at least hobnob with the studios. They're there trying to be nice to all the celebrities.
Lively's press team flooded the media with hit pieces against Baldoni before the lawsuit even reached the courtroom. They were working overtime to make sure the public only saw Lively as the brave victim and Baldoni as the villain. And Baldoni did what Lively wasn't expecting. He fought back with actual evidence.
And unless Blake's dropping something to warrant all the things that she did to him, Justin deserves justice. Justin deserves to get his Wayfarer back where it was. Justin gets to deserve to make more movies.
He exposed emails proving Lively's team had planned these smears from the very beginning. Not only that, but she even dragged the New York Times into it, using them as her personal mouthpiece to push her one-sided narrative. Huge mistake. Because now, Baldoni is suing the publication for $250 million. And guess what? They're scrambling to distance themselves from her disaster.
Interestingly enough, all of these publications, which are known to just publish whatever, they publish things about me that are completely untrue, they don't care about defamation or anything like that, all declined to publish this.
Chelsea Handler mocked the whole mess effortlessly. She sarcastically thanked Lively for the entertainment, implying what everyone already suspected. This was never about justice. This was a PR stunt gone horribly wrong. The best part? While Chelsea was roasting her on live TV, Lively was reportedly at home, spiraling, scrolling Twitter, watching the world laugh at her downfall in real time. This isn't how she imagined things going, is it? Blake Lively thought she could manipulate the system, twist a few words, play the victim card, and walk away looking like Hollywood's new feminist warrior. Instead, she became a laughingstock.
I don't like her. She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
Blake Lively really thought she had this in the bag. She thought she could throw together a bunch of accusations, play the victim, and the world would automatically believe her. But what she clearly didn't count on was actual evidence exposing every single one of her lies. And one of the biggest? That ridiculous breastfeeding scandal she tried to use against Justin Baldoni.
Because this shouldn't be funny. This shouldn't be funny if we are seriously taking Blake's case so serious, which we're not. No one is, because her case has no evidence. It's complete nonsense.
According to Lively, Baldoni made inappropriate comments while she was breastfeeding on set. Sounds shocking, right? Too bad it was a complete fabrication, and the receipts proved it. Baldoni's legal team exposed text messages that showed Lively herself invited Baldoni into her trailer while she was breastfeeding. Yep, you heard that right. She wasn't some helpless victim being invaded. She literally told him to come in.
He called me sexy and asked how much I weigh when he has a back problem. It is absurd what she's accusing him of as we broke it down.
But that's not even the worst part. Not only did Lively lie about being uncomfortable, but leaked messages also showed she constantly brought up breastfeeding in casual conversations. It wasn't Baldoni who was obsessed with it, it was her. The industry saw those texts and immediately knew what was up. She got caught twisting yet another narrative, and it collapsed right in front of her.
At these Hollywood award shows, was actually going to step up and make some jokes. So props to Chelsea Handler. I think she could have gone harder. I think she could have gone more on Blake and Ryan, but she's playing in the middle. But all I will say is Blake Lively's not going to do this.
At this point, Chelsea Handler didn't even need to say anything. The damage was already done. But she did what she does best and threw the final nail in the coffin anyway. Hollywood wasn't cringing at Lively's trauma. They weren't whispering in concern. They were laughing. And when an entire industry is laughing at you instead of supporting you, you're done.
This sums up Hollywood in a nutshell. Oh God, please don't show me a laugh. I don't want to get Blake and Ryan mad, but it's funny. Please don't cut to me. Please don't cut to me. Oh God, it's funny though, and I have to laugh at it because this whole thing's ridiculous.
If Lively still had any respect left in Hollywood, Handler's roast would have been met with awkward silence. But that's not what happened. Instead, the biggest A-listers in the room, Orlando Bloom, Margot Robbie, and half the room full of Hollywood's elite, were in full-on hysterics.
Orlando Bloom is laughing. It's so telling to see him laugh. Like, yep, this is ridiculous.
Some even clapped and cheered because finally, someone said out loud what everyone was already thinking. Blake Lively's victim act is a joke.
She's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
And let's talk about who wasn't laughing, or better yet, who wasn't even in the room to defend her. If Blake still had Hollywood backing her, at least one of her so-called powerful allies would have stepped in. But where were they? Nowhere to be found.
Please don't cut to me. Please don't cut to me. Oh God, it's funny though, and I have to laugh at it because this whole thing's ridiculous. And yes, it's been such a wonderful, dramatic distraction, but...
And one name, in particular, was noticeably absent: Taylor Swift. You would think that if Blake was really suffering, her best friend would have something to say about it. But instead, Swift went completely silent the moment Baldoni started dropping evidence. That's not just a coincidence. That's a deliberate move.
She seems like kind of a jerk. Wow, she's like kind of a bully. She's rather mean.
Hollywood hates scandals that make them look bad. And if someone as powerful as Taylor Swift isn't willing to risk her own reputation for you, it means you are no longer worth defending. Swift's PR team was in full panic mode when Baldoni's lawyer mentioned they might depose her as a witness in the lawsuit. The moment Swift realized this wasn't just some Hollywood gossip, but an actual legal case that could drag her name into the mud, she backed out faster than Blake's credibility.
Why is she backing out here? Very carefully worded back out. Because she's smart. Okay? Taylor Swift is very smart. She is media savvy.
But Lively's problems don't stop there because she's not the only one whose reputation is in free fall. Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's golden boy, has officially been dragged into this disaster, and it is not looking good for him. Reynolds was named in Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit as a key player in Lively's smear campaign. And let's just say, the allegations are ugly. Reports claim that Reynolds secretly tried to hijack Baldoni's film, rewriting entire scenes behind his back, and even bringing in his own editor to recut the movie. This wasn't just a case of standing by his wife. No, Reynolds actively tried to sabotage the project. And when Baldoni refused to let him take control, Lively conveniently turned around and accused Baldoni of harassment. What an absolutely pathetic attempt at a power move.
Who's telling the truth? Is he some creep harasser who took a shot at somebody like Blake, jeopardizing his movie and his future career? Or is she just extremely high maintenance and someone who plays the victim when she doesn't get her way?
But here's the thing about Hollywood. It doesn't forget. And now that this lawsuit is turning into a full-blown PR nightmare, even Reynolds is starting to distance himself from Lively.
I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
Chelsea Handler's roast wasn't just about Blake. It was aimed at Reynolds too. The second she made that joke about no sequel, she wasn't just talking about the movie. She was talking about their careers.
Blake Lively, you deserve all of this! This is a reckoning she needs to hear. This isn't bullying. This isn't harassment. This is accountability, girl.
If Reynolds was hoping that his Deadpool charm would save him, he better think again. Because no amount of sarcastic tweets and quirky interviews can erase the fact that he is now permanently tied to a massive Hollywood scandal. The real question now is, how long before he finally cuts ties with Lively completely? If we've learned anything from Hollywood history, big-name stars will always prioritize their own careers over their relationships.
It's
not
spoiler
canon to
alert,
me.
because this last season kind of does suck. She turns into a psychopath.
Lively may think she and Reynolds are some untouchable Hollywood power couple, but if the industry continues to turn against her, Reynolds will not go down with her. Handler knew exactly what she was doing when she dragged Reynolds into the roast. This isn't just about Lively's crumbling reputation, it's about whether Reynolds can survive this mess without taking permanent damage.
And then says, smells good. And she says, it's my body makeup. That's her big harassment moment.
And at this point, there is no way out that doesn't end in disaster. Either Reynolds sticks by Lively and watches his own career sink alongside hers, or he does what every other Hollywood husband in a scandal like this has done: quietly distance himself until the storm passes.
It was just a perfect act of evil that was almost executed in broad daylight.
No matter how you look at it, Blake Lively lost. She lost Hollywood's respect, she lost her credibility, and now she's dangerously close to losing her own husband's support. Chelsea Handler didn't just make a joke. She sent a message. A message that Hollywood is done pretending Lively is some innocent victim. A message that no one is buying her lies anymore. A message that her career, her reputation, and her entire manufactured persona are officially over. Blake Lively thought she had the ultimate support system, a fortress of Hollywood power surrounding her. She must have believed that with Taylor Swift in her corner, she was untouchable, that no matter what accusations she threw, no matter how many times she twisted the truth, her bestie would have her back. Well, it turns out that not even Taylor Swift wants to go down with this sinking ship.
She tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me.
For years, Lively and Swift were inseparable. They vacationed together, posted cringy Instagram tributes, and basically made sure everyone knew they were best friends. But the real question is, where was Taylor when Blake needed her the most? Nowhere.
Taylor Swift is taking a step back from her friendship with Blake Lively after feeling like she was used.
When Lively first filed her lawsuit against Baldoni in December 2024, Swift was one of the first to subtly show support, liking posts, sending cryptic messages, you know, the usual passive-aggressive Hollywood moves. But the second Baldoni dropped his receipts in January 2025, silence. Complete radio silence. Swift's name was nowhere near this disaster, and her PR team was working overtime to make sure it stayed that way.
Well, today, her team, and respect to them for the speed at which her marketing team moves, dropped an entire article in the press announcing that her and Blake are taking a break. They're no longer friends because, shocking, Taylor Swift feels used. She always feels used.
And we all know Swift is calculated when it comes to her image. She doesn't make one move without thinking 3 steps ahead. So the fact that she distanced herself the moment things got messy, that says everything.
Is she being used, or are people starting to jump into lifeboats because Ryan and Blake's Titanic, you know, the ship that not even God could sink, is sinking? It's going down.
Then came the ultimate embarrassment for Lively. Leaked texts revealed that she called Swift and Ryan Reynolds her loyal dragons. Seriously, who even says that? Who calls their adult billionaire best friend a loyal dragon? Like this is some Game of Thrones fan fiction. Swift reportedly hated it and felt Lively was dragging her name into a war she wanted no part of.
We all know the backstory here. Blake Lively essentially threatened, you could say, Justin Baldoni, calling Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds her beautiful little dragon monsters that she sometimes has to use to get what she wants done.
That was all it took for Swift's PR team to hit full panic mode. They started leaking reports that Swift was never actually involved in this, that she had no idea how bad it would get, and that she just wanted to support her friend, not become part of a legal mess.
For the time being, she is taking a step back from Blake because she doesn't want to get tangled in this more than she already has, which is far more than she ever needed to be.
And Chelsea Handler's roast? That sealed the deal. When Swift's name wasn't even mentioned once in Handler's joke, it was clear. Taylor Swift wants nothing to do with Blake Lively anymore. And honestly, Swift made the smart choice. Because at this point, This case has turned into Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard 2.0.
Blake and Ryan with the understanding that the meeting would be over. A second source said, Taylor has politely backed away from it all. She is conscious of her own image and hates that she was even mentioned. Okay.
Hollywood loves a messy courtroom battle. It's a spectacle, a ratings boost, a never-ending circus. And the second the industry started comparing Lively's case to Amber Heard's, it was over for her.
And Blake Lively, who I believe thought she would be received or perceived as an Alyssa Milano or Ashley Judd Me Too victim, is instead looking a lot more like Amber Heard.
This lawsuit has every single ingredient of the Depp-Heard disaster. A major Hollywood starlet playing the victim to boost her public image. Shocking accusations that initially got support, but started crumbling under actual evidence.
She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints when he pushed back even in the mildest way.
A countersuit so massive that if Lively loses, she'll never financially recover. A Hollywood leading man refusing to back down and fighting back with proof. And, of course, a growing wave of people realizing that they were manipulated.
So normal people at home who don't care about this woman at all are looking at her like, I don't like her. She seems like a bully. She seems like somebody who punches down.
Chelsea Handler's roast confirmed what everyone was thinking. Lively's case is falling apart just like Amber Heard's, and Hollywood is watching closely, waiting to see if this trial will be her final downfall. If this goes to trial in March 2026, Blake Lively risks total career destruction. This won't be a simple lawsuit that disappears in the tabloids. This is the kind of case that sticks with you forever. Just like Heard, Lively's name will be tied to this mess, no matter what happens.
Is this at the expense of Justin not getting his justice? No, I think this is proving to Blake it's a joke. Your lawsuit was a joke. Why'd you do this? And why is all Hollywood still dealing with all this drama? Blake, move on. This wasn't worth a lawsuit in the first place. That's how I take it.
And Handler knew exactly what she was doing when she mocked Lively in front of the entire industry. She wasn't just making fun of the lawsuit. She was sending a message. She was telling everyone in Hollywood, this is your new Amber Heard. And the worst part? She's right. Handler's roast wasn't just about the lawsuit. It was about Lively's entire Hollywood career crumbling in real time. The Critics' Choice Awards audience wasn't just laughing at a joke. They were laughing at Blake Lively's career collapsing on live TV. This was a Hollywood verdict.
It's just incredibly telling to see Hollywood they're out of patience. They don't want to hear this nonsense anymore. Here it is.
It ends with us.
Here it is. Again, no more celebrities laughing.
There's probably not going to be a sequel. It ends with us, guys.
Lively built her career playing the Golden Girl, America's sweetheart, the effortlessly charming actress who could do no wrong. But guess what? That act is over. Her lawsuit has fallen apart piece by piece. Her own best friend won't even acknowledge her anymore. Her husband is being dragged down with her. Her biggest night of humiliation played out in front of the entire world. And now, she's days away from stepping into a courtroom where she could lose everything.
He told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film.
March 2026 is the final showdown. And if she loses this case, she won't just lose a lawsuit, she'll lose Hollywood. Handler's final jab about no sequel wasn't just about it ends with us. It was about Blake Lively's career. Because after this, there might not be a sequel for her either. And Chelsea Handler? She just did what Hollywood was too scared to do. She said it out loud.